talk, man. All these motherfuckers talking about they hot. I don't believe them, Mike. I don't believe them flaming laces. Hey, we gotta turn this shit up to 104, man. Turn your motherfucking speakers up.
We about to turn it up to 104.
Recording.
Hold on.
So, everybody, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year. I wish
Same
everybody
shit, different day.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, they know. That's what's up.
All right, so Nibor, what is the chant that it pops up with every day?
You say what now?
I said, what's that chant you said that Nate pops up with every day?
Oh, I'm black and I'm proud. Say it loud. Can you keep the black man down? No. Can you keep the white man down? Yes. Can you lift the black man up? Yes. Should you lift the white man up? No. That's what he chants damn near every day. This boy wakes up every morning, and now he says he does it every night too. Like he's the 6-year-old I've ever seen with a fucking six-pack. He wakes up every morning, does exercise before going to bed every night, does his exercise. He told me the other day he made a new exercise, which he didn't know was already an exercise, which is just doing bicycle kicks with crunches. But, to him, I just created this. Look what I can do, So, yeah, that's my name.
That baby is a fucking militant. I'm telling you. That's what he is. He a fucking militant. You're going to have to watch his ass.
Yeah, no, when he told me he wanted to go downtown and cut the heads off of certain skin-colored people
Right.
with a giant pair of scissors, I'm like, yeah, let's channel this in a different direction.
Hey.
Not that one.
Look, listen, I ain't mad at him. Like, cause I watched Rosewood when I was like his age or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think, and that shit pissed me off. So, ever since then, I've been kind of. Matter of fact, no, I'll take it back. I was about 8 or 9 when my mama made me read the autobiography of Malcolm X.
Yeah.
And it was all because I just wanted one of those Malcolm X medallions back in the early 90s, right? But my mama said I had to read the autobiography of Malcolm X just to actually get that medallion, and I got that medallion. But
I remember you told me that story before.
Yeah, that's where the turn came for me. Plus, like I said, I was listening to X-Clan and Public Enemy and all that type of shit. So.
Right, and you know what? And my kids, I don't know why, just Nate, just him, but we used to read just every night African history, the heritage and history of Africa. He's just always been into it. We talk about civil rights, we talk about slavery, but he's the one that's just, oh shit, like these are my people. This what happened. People did X, Y, Z. What? Like I'm not going for that shit. But that's.
I don't know. I kind of like personally, it's fucked up of me to be like this, but I kind of avoid the civil rights, Jim Crow, and like the slavery era, and like skip past it a little bit. And I need to change that, of course.
We talk about it. Because, I mean, what are they learning in school? I mean, they learn that, all they know is slavery. That's it. We slaves. Right. That's what we're good for. We're built for slavery. That's it. No, this is what happened. This is what was. This is what is. This is what could be. That we have all those discussions.
Right. It's kind of hard to empower black people when you're talking about us being fucking defeated. You know what I'm saying? That's the approach that I've been looking at, and
right.
I teach my.
That brings us into the main point for today, the topic, I guess. I mean, show a same shit, different day, but like you said, how are we supposed to be empowered when we always focus on the bad or the negative? Why not start focusing on solutions? And when we start talking about solutions, the problem's gonna come up, but we're not focused on the problem. We're focused on what we can do and the positive sides of that problem.
Right. So there's a build up to solving anything. It's like if you do a math problem, like I hate algebra, right? But if you actually do an algebra problem, it's a whole lot of shit that needs to be broken down to actually get to the answer that, you know what I'm saying, that you actually end up with. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. And if you use the Common Core standard, you're gonna have to do much work. So just, old school and all of that.
It's like, I actually get it because I actually go outside sometimes and shit. Like, and I talk to people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how many motherfuckers I stopped from getting shot this summer. That just went by. Like, you know what I'm saying?
That's tough.
So it's like, shit, it's just like at some point in time, you have to understand that it's like, okay, there's an answer that might not match what the fuck you really want to deal with, but there's a better way to go about it.
Oh, Terrence, you want to give us those bars once again that you gave us for our Father's Day tribute that we did? Some bars he dropped on that video.
I don't even remember the fight. Yeah. I ain't gonna hold you up.
Well, I remember it. I damn near remember every fucking thing we do. But he said, kind of along the lines what you were saying, Ed, you got to decide if you want to be right or you want to fix the problem,
See, I know what you was talking about. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's a lot of bars from a lot of different things. You're just good. You're a barologist, we should say. Can we make that a word? A barologist?
I mean, shit, if they made bartenders mixologists, you might as well. Fuck
Someone good at
Oh, no, I take that back. No, DJ. DJ.
The next one.
I should have asked this question. Hey, look, I should have asked this question. Like, I'm about to ask it right now. Like, I put a status up that said, what resolution are you going to fuck up this year?
All of them.
Listen, the only thing I want to do is get rid of my double chin. That's it, and I'll be happy. Yeah.
How about how many resolutions have you kept over the year?
I don't make resolutions. Usually.
Why not?
Like, see, look, I stopped making resolutions when I realized I couldn't keep them.
See, I made one that I've kept consistently. I mean, a bunch of resolutions you make is your shit that you could really already do, but just come the new year, whatever. But I made one in 2016. It was funny because it just came across my little time hop there, where I said I'm no longer lending money out. I'm done lending money. If I have it to give, I'll give it.
You give it.
But if I don't have it to give, I'm not lending it. And bro, that was one of the best decisions in my life I'd ever made. Because if you let somebody borrow $10 and they don't pay your $10 back, that $10 is not going to break you. It's not going to affect your life at all. But the disrespect that you feel when the person who borrowed that $10 from you, oh, I'm so in need, I got you Friday, first thing Friday, and then you see them on Instagram, oh, I got the hen, who got the loud. It's like, bruh, you know, and I both know you owe me $10.
Right.
The pettiness I would feel for checking you about $10.
That's what it is.
But that's the be right or solve the problem thing, right? Because even if I address the principle, if I check you about my $10 and we get into it and fall out about $10, I'm gonna feel lame as fuck. Sitting here letting you stunt, knowing you owe me $10, I'm gonna feel lame as fuck. Like there's a no win in that situation, and it just don't do nothing but eat at you because you the principal person in the situation. So when I stopped loaning money out and just said, bro, if I got it, you know what I'm saying, you can have it. If I don't, it's a no. Boy, did that feel good. Like just to be able to say no, like I ain't got it to give, and nah, I ain't doing that. I can't, man. I swear to God, I promise I got you.
A very, very hard lesson that I had to learn too. Just being able to sometimes say no, and I feel like there's still situations where I need to get better at saying fucking just no. You know. Right. But that's a lesson we all need to learn. Just sometimes.
I don't know. I think I'm a little bit too good at saying no. Those are real shit. I think I'm a little too good at saying no. Like my kids actually understand that no means no and shit. Like it's like no, motherfucker.
Right.
I'm not getting it. Leave me alone, and they leave me alone. Right. It's like because you want a Barbie doll, but I have to feed you, so no. Like, you know?
Right, but to kids they don't really grasp it that well.
No, I was gonna say
They
like
don't.
my
They
kids
they
actually have
they they only know what they can see. So they can't see the light bill getting paid. They don't see the internet and the cable and all this other shit getting paid. They just see we have Wi-Fi. They see we have a car. They see we have a house. They see all these things, but they don't really comprehend. Well, my the older they get, they do. But at a certain age, they just don't comprehend those types of things.
right. I
I
think
don't know, man.
They
Kids
with
don't know
me, it's
comprehend.
difference.
more. It's like okay, well, like okay, I took Melody to a Pistons game for her birthday. Um,
Right.
it was like December 16th, and it just so happens that like me being me, like I hashtag Detroit Pistons out that game or whatever. And somebody gave me some seats real close, right? And I felt fucked up because it was like I said, I bought nosebleed seats. That's what I could afford. But at the
Right.
same time, it was like, okay, I bought her some popcorn, but I had asked her, like, okay, well, are you hungry? And she said no. All before we even made it downtown. So I felt some type of way as a parent. Where it was like, well, shit, I could at least, like shit, I shouldn't have bought her that medallion. I should nachos or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's just what we do that's what we do as parents. Like, you know what I'm saying? So once we left, you know what I'm saying, she ended up getting something to eat, whatever, but she had her little Pistons medallion and her bag of popcorn, and then I think Pops was fucked around and took her somewhere to get something to eat. So I wasn't necessarily like, as irritated as I could have been.
Hmm. But that is just something that we do, like you said, as parents. We do what we can. Do what we can. We gotta
Right.
learn not to let these little cutie pie demon angel children get to us in that way. Make us feel bad. Do what we can. That's it. I don't know. And I had a point I wanted to make, and then I forgot what it was. Cause I'm still fucked up from last night. I already started smoking. I'm here, but I'm not really here, type deal.
You hear in spirit.
Right. Right.
Right? Exactly.
All right. So I just asked. Shout out to Xavier Monroe. I just asked Xavier Monroe what his top 3 favorite albums were. Right.
Uh,
He said Black Star, Black on Both Sides, and Reflection Eternal.
that nigga's weird.
No, I
Can
actually
we
like.
bring?
I agree with him. Like those are dope. Those are my favorite albums. Like I agree with the selection.
Can we
With
bring good music back for the new year? Support good music. Stop supporting the bullshit every
like
year.
okay, so like
Oh, that reminds me. That's what I was gonna say.
my
I
top
forgot what
three
it said.
albums are probably let's see, Sound Bomber 2, that's number one. Number two is Me Against the World by number three would have to be um it was written by Nas.
So let me just ask a question just to be sure. I'm pretty sure this is what you're saying, but I just want to be sure. Are you saying your top 3 albums or
Yeah.
your top
Like,
3 rap albums? You
no,
gotta
no,
be,
no, no. Your top 3 albums, period.
bruh.
Period.
That's what I thought he was
I
saying.
mean, like
That's what
I
I said.
listen to everything, so it's like but like in the range that I grew up in, it's like okay, this is the shit that I was like really banging, like you know what I'm saying.
Uh-huh.
So that's why I said like yeah, Sound Bombing 2, All Eyes, well not All Eyes on Me, but me Against the World, and It Was Written. Those are
I
my
mean,
favorite albums.
there
Now
there were
music,
albums. Like there are albums that, because like when my man said, Black Star, like that was one of my defining albums. Like as far as rap goes, that verse on Redefinition is still one of my
Man.
favorite. Redefinition, turning your play into a tragedy. Exhibit levels degree on the mic passionately. Niggas is sweet, so I bet if I better get a cavity. Pretending to be high, you ain't flying in gravity. Don't get me wrong, those albums are fire. But not
Yeah.
one of those albums any of y'all have named is better than Marvin Gaye's What's Going On. Like, I don't like when we talking about music, like I can name those ain't touching lyrically, music wise, production wise. Like I ain't even touch Stevie, I ain't touch Elton John, I ain't touch Queen, I ain't went to Prince. Like we're saying that the Black Star is better than Marvin Gaye. What's going on?
No, I
Like,
wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But like I said, like my favorite albums are coming from like, when I was growing up. Now, personally, music was better
what was your choice?
in like let's say the
I'll
the,
check.
the 70s and the 60s and 70s. Nibor can actually like vouch for that because she knows the shit that I listen to. Like, so it's like, for me, music, yeah, that was like, that era, those two eras were actually the dope shit.
Hmm.
But as far as like me growing up and relating this shit, it was more so like the shit that I named. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so not the best, your favorite.
Right.
Okay,
Oh,
okay,
so
that's
we're
fair.
supposed to name them? So three?
Yeah, yo, top three. I'm waiting. I see you looking and shit. What the
Yeah, I'll let her go. I'll go after her.
Ah,
Okay.
yeah, it's hard. Top three. I guess I'll do the ones that kind of, I don't know, move me in some sort of way, and it's gonna be a weird ass list. I'm gonna go with Kopech, White Collar Live. I rock and roll. I fucking love that album.
That's what's up.
Redman, Doc's the name 2001.
Hey, that's the
2000,
shit. That's the
2001 or
shit.
2000, whichever
That's the
one.
shit.
I
That
don't
was
remember the year it was. But yeah, that was my shit. Yeah, that was my shit. And number three, of all time that I still play, that moves me that much that I still keep it in rotation. How about I don't fucking know? Um,
it's,
ah, shit.
Is it on
Let's
me or are you still
throw.
thinking?
Let's throw. No, I'm gonna do. I don't know the name of the album, but it's David Bowie, and it had Rock and Roll Suicide and Space Oddity on it. Fucking staples, whatever album that is. Bada bing, bada boom. There you go.
that's what's up. All right, I think it's on you, T.
All right, I keep having to mute y'all and unmute it because I got my little guy. He just want to be all boisterous now. So I'm gonna just pick my three favorite slash influential. I ain't gonna try to pick the best because that'll bring up a whole different debate. So
Right.
I'll say at the number three spot, I'll
Thanks,
say
big dog.
influential slash favorite. I'll say the Roots, Things Fall Apart. Uh,
Which
I
one?
say number two, I'll probably say Jay Z, The Blueprint.
Okay.
Um, and number one for me, favorite slash influential, I'll say Anthony Hamilton, Coming From Where I'm From.
That was
Yeah,
a good
dope.
one too.
That was dope.
And you
Yeah.
know what? Your first one reminded me. Let's scratch that Bowie. Let's add Midnight Marauders in there for me. Midnight fucking Marauders.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
this is where this is where a piece of my hip hop card gets ripped and thrown in the garbage
Uh,
because
Right
Midnight
here.
Marauders, Low End Theory, anything Notorious Big,
Mink.
I don't rock with it, right? But
What?
let me tell you why. And I think it's because like when it comes to music, like by the time I got on Big, I had already heard everybody steal his bars, his flows, his little punchlines. So
Oh,
it wasn't
got you.
exciting to
Okay.
me. So it was like I
Right.
heard it everywhere else. You
Right.
know, Remy had
Right.
his
Listen,
You done
party and
already
B.
heard that
don't
So
feel
song
bad,
20
bro.
different times on 50
You
different
hear me?
songs.
Hey,
Crazy.
yeah,
don't
the
feel
same
bad.
thing.
Crazy.
So
I don't fuck with I don't fuck with KRS, and that's like a
but
hip
see
hop.
that's a little
Billy
that's
White. What the fuck?
see for
Wait, no, I'm just
see for our age, that's acceptable
kidding.
because of
Yeah.
our age range. Like
Yeah.
we
Right.
were just coming into our own, like
When
when
he
KRS was
right.
out. So if you missed the wave, it's like, all right, cool. Like I chose to listen to Pac instead of Big. If Pac dissed you, I wasn't rocking with you.
Right.
Like I didn't rock
Right.
with Jay-Z, Mobb Deep, Nas. I ain't like nothing East Coast. I used to go for the
Mhm.
Western Conference All
And
Star
you know
team every
what?
year
And that
just
was
because of Pac.
me too. When I was growing up, Doggy Style was my first ever like real hip hop album I listened to from start to finish was Doggy Style. I was
Yeah.
always more West Coast Southern hip hop. I started with East Coast hip hop later in life, but I still didn't have that same issue you had with being
Yeah.
influenced by certain artists based on what others did when they stole their shit, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like I wasn't East Coast or West Coast. I was just Tupac. When I first
Right.
heard Hit
Yeah,
'Em Up,
you
I
said
was
just
like,
Tupac.
oh,
Hey,
they
Okay, just
talking
Tupac,
like this?
I relate to
nigga.
you on that one. Wait, I relate to you on
You gotta see.
that.
My mama didn't let us listen to cussing
Tupac
music in the
dropping
house.
out. That's all the fuck I gave a fuck
Yeah,
about.
same here.
Yeah,
When I was growing up, we listened to classic rock, we listened to gospel, and we listened to jazz. That was it. We had to sneak and
Listen,
listen to hip
the
hop,
shit
and
that fucked me up.
My mom didn't let us listen to it until she heard "Dear Mama" by Tupac. Thank you, Pac. And it was still only then, only certain artists were acceptable. Shit,
and
we
see
could
that
play
was
Will Smith all day, but
Right.
right.
we ain't getting
Listen,
no
I had
hardcore
somebody
gangster
ask
shit.
me.
Yeah,
I had somebody ask me who my influences were. Right. The list that I got that I gave this man was something different. Okay, so let's see. My list of influences include Rakim, LL Cool J, Tupac, Pharoah Monch, Nas, Criss Cross, Bone Thugs, Wu Tang, Black Sheep, Nas Effects, DMX, and Esham. Like
You
those are
said
my.
that's what?
I said those. That was my list of influences where I got to the point where I rap like I do. Like you know what I'm saying?
Oh, you know what
So
influenced me to rap like
it's
I
a
do?
weird ass mixture, but it's like
Yeah,
shit.
it is. It is.
and see that's crazy. And it's like it's crazy hearing this because when you have like for me when I've had the main same circle of friends for so long, like you
Uh,
kind of get used to talking in an echo chamber almost, right? So
Right.
right.
like now hearing you guys, it's totally weird because like out of all of my influences, only two of mine are rap. Like everything else
Mhm.
that I do when I rap, I stole from or was influenced by a different genre.
Yeah.
Well, see,
Like, you
me it
know,
was
Right.
that
Right.
that was
Yeah.
like somebody asked me like what my hip hop influences were.
mm,
Now, as far as
And
music, I
see,
can go.
right.
As far as music in general, shit,
Yeah.
I go all the way to
And
Beethoven.
for me, it's different too because when it comes to music, it's different. Hip hop, I hold differently. With hip hop, I can't just listen to the beat and not the lyrics. Hip hop is all about
Right,
lyrics, but I
right.
can listen to
The same.
R&B. I can listen to rock. I can listen to jazz without having to have those lyrics. It's just the
Right.
melody, just the instrument, just the beat. I can do that, but when it comes to
That's
hip
like
hop,
I mean,
I
shit.
need
Listen,
that
listen,
message. Like I
people,
need that message from my music when it
see,
comes to rap.
people
man,
sleep on people like Rochelle for real and shit like that. They sleep on that shit. There's you know what I'm saying? Like shit.
Hmm.
There's a lot of good music out there. TD, um, Barry White, The Love Connection,
yeah.
all that type of shit.
Hmm.
Confunction.
See, one of the things I noticed and this was
Yeah.
a conversation that we had with my when we was in the studio one day. I noticed
Hmm.
all of my influences are linear. Like all of my R&B influences, my rap influences are the rap version of my R&B influence.
Of
Like
course, because
like and
rap
I
was built on fucking samples.
no, I'm just saying that like for not saying that, I'm saying like my biggest influence music wise was Sade, right?
Love
Because
her.
I would
Okay.
listen to Sade
That's
and
dope.
just like and for the longest I didn't understand what Sade was saying because her voice was so deep and when she really not the smooth operator and all that type of stuff, but it was just the feel that I got from listening to Sade was like she going through something. Like I don't the deep voice, the brooding melodies, the harps. Like she always made sure you felt how she wanted you to
Right,
feel.
and that's
And
that's the biggest thing with music. It's not just listening. At least for me, it's not just something to listen to. It's a
yeah,
feeling. It's an
and
emotion that's supposed to be invoked when you're
and the funny
listening
thing,
to the
yeah,
music.
facts. And the funny thing is, like my rap biggest influence that I like the most that influences rap is Joe Budden. And like Joe Button is like the
Love
dude
Joe Budden.
Sade. You know what I'm
That's
saying? Like
what's up.
Sade gave you Joe Button gave you with
And that's
lyrics
why he had
what
that move music.
it bro,
Listen,
Move
He had
Music
that
4,
move
like
music.
look,
a lot of
Black
people hate
Cloud.
on Joe Buttons. You know what I'm saying? Like he was dope.
Yeah, because he was the guy that was cool to hate. Like just like Wale was the guy
Right.
that's cool to hate. Like he was the guy that's cool to hate. But it was like I noticed that because like on my R&B side, I got my Marvin Gaye, like a big influence lyrically, the stuff that he said with words. But my linear comparison to Marvin Gaye, Jay-Z, lyrically. You know what I'm saying? It's
See,
like they
and I
both.
listen, like I don't have anything against Jay-Z. Like I like Jay-Z lyrically, like as an actual like artist for real between what was it? Reasonable Doubt and Hard Knock Life. Those were like my favorite years of Jay-Z. Like cause he was on like
I
some
would,
hip hop shit.
you know what? I could say I listened to Jay Z, but I was like, I liked him as a feature, but I never really liked Jay Z until I got older and I really started
Yeah,
paying attention to what he was
yeah,
saying and listening to the
No,
message.
if you
And I'm
listen,
like, oh
if you
shit, I
listen,
missed out all these years. Like
if
this
you
man
listen
been spitting
to
these
if you
bars.
listen
that's
to
how I
K
felt,
Hustle,
Oh yeah, yep.
listen, if you listen to
bro.
K Knock the Hustle, you cannot deny that fucking song.
What you, I mean, but if you every album, Jay's just about Jay Z is the only artist who I know. Maybe y'all, lifestyles are different, but Jay Z is the only artist I know that I could live my whole life for every single situation that goes on. There's a Jay Z quote for
It's
it. Like,
yep,
and I got
pretty
on Jay
much.
Z late too, because like I said, I was on Pop. My roommate in my freshman
I
year of
give
college.
Jay Z was the most consistent rapper in our lifetime on some real shit.
Yeah.
He's the
Uh,
most consistent. Like every summer, you know he gonna have a fucking hit.
Yeah, and it's funny how people try to use that as a knock. I see the little meme going around that say Jay Z never ran rap, and it got like 97 Puff, 98, can't remember who, 99 Eminem, 2000 Nelly, all the people who was hot. And I'm like, and it was posting that like as a diss to Jay, and at the bottom said Jay Z never ran rap. And I said that to me that just shows how stupid you are,
Right, and that's
because
like me personally,
like
as a person that's
Is
not a Jay Z fan. It's
because
like
there was
okay, I mean, shit. I gotta give him his credit though. Like you know what I'm saying? That man fucked around and he dropped hits
and
every
I can't.
summer
And you, how can you say he can't? He doesn't.
since what
He's
90,
never ran
95,
rap when he's still
96.
relevant to the
but
game
see
to this very day.
but see
From the
that's the
day he
point.
started up until now.
No,
Right.
I agree with the whole he never ran rap. That's correct. Because you got to remember, up until Volume 2, Jay Z almost got dropped. Like he had to
Yeah.
make Volume 2 to generate some income because he was about to get dropped. Jay Z
His
has never
family,
had,
that was his dope shit.
yeah. But see,
Like
he never,
you can tell when Jay Z was still hungry.
like to me, the hunger, I mean, I guess it's just different for what I listen for when I'm
Hmm.
listening
Right.
to the music. Um, because I think he was always just hungry for something different. But the point I was making was that, like, that just shows how little running rap is really in value. Because yes, Jay Z never sold one album that sold as many as Nellyville did.
Right.
Right? Never. He never sold as much as the Slim Shady LP. Never. Like he never sold as
Listen,
much as Southern
Jay
Hospitality.
Z will listen. Jay Z or anybody else, I don't think, as far as rappers are concerned, will ever touch fucking All Eyes on Me.
And
That nigga, that Tupac sold 74 fucking million on that one album,
but a
and
lot of
it's
those were
growing.
post death though. A lot of
Right?
those
I'm
sales were
saying though.
post death.
No, listen. All Eyes on Me, I paid attention to it because it was like, okay, everybody was waiting on this album to drop when Tupac got out of jail, and then like 3 weeks later, here we go, right?
Mm-hmm.
My mama went out there and bought All Eyes on Me before me or either one of my sisters.
Yeah.
I know that shit was coming. Something about like my mama's favorite song off of All Eyes was Wonder Why They Call You Bitch. Of all of the songs
Take
that I would
that
expect
song.
for her to
Yeah.
love, that was her favorite song.
Yeah. I mean, we got.
Listen to the song, it makes sense. Like I can understand why my mama loved that song. Like, you know what I'm saying? Jay-Z, like I said, after Volume 2, I was kind of like, whatever.
I mean, bro. See, like,
Honestly,
is
for the longest time, that was the only album by him I really liked.
bro. I don't get what's like. I, I'm befuddled, beloved. to quote Taxstone, I'm befuddled, beloved. Like bro. Like, I mean, I guess because like in for me, like I said, when I really got into hip hop, for me, when I dug deep, I went straight to the backpack. I went straight to
Right.
Chino XL. I went straight to
Oh,
Pharaoh
yeah, she
Monch.
know was a motherfucker.
I went straight to Wordsworth. I went straight to Afro Ra. I went straight to the bottom of the backpack, like not even the qualities and the roots and the comments, the people that everybody just throw out there. Like I was I was Channel Live, like yo, like what, like I need some of this. But it's like,
But see, with me, it's like, okay, you gotta think about something, right? Like I got sisters that are older than me. My sisters are 9 and 11 years older than me.
uh,
So off rip, I was coming across like, okay, LL Cool J, the Fat Boys,
uh,
Eric B and Rakim, the Treacherous
45.
Three, that type of shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
uh,
my whole life has been hip hop.
yeah,
So it's like I pay attention, like shit, Big Daddy Kane. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, like when I listen to motherfuckers now, I kind of get frustrated. I ain't gonna
and
lie.
see
At
that's
first,
the conversation we need to have for real. That's the real conversation right there. And like because to go into kind of what Nibor be saying about how we seem, especially on religion,
right.
how we keep having the same conversation over and over, and it's like, dog, what's the point? With the hip hop conversation, we keep having the same conversation. But that right there, what you just said, is the real conversation because
Wait, what did he say? I wasn't paying attention because I'm
I
driving too.
no, I said just like how when we were talking about religion last time. And you were like, dog, what's the point? We keep having the same conversation over and over and over again. I'm like, I feel the same way about the hip hop conversation. We keep
Right.
having the same conversation. But the point that he just made, when he said, I listen to some of this new stuff and it makes me mad. Like that right there is the real conversation that we need to have is a
Yes,
lot of
I like
us,
that.
our age, because I eventually, like, it took me a minute. And it happened to me. My moment when it happened was late in life. It was like 2012. It was with Young Thug. Like when I first heard Young Thug, I was like, bruh, is this really what hip hop is coming to?
I
Like
mean,
we were
shit,
on
the
a,
funny part is I actually
but,
listen to shit. Like I listen to a lot of this new shit,
uh-huh.
but it's just like, okay, well, I remember like the early, like
Hold on,
the
hold on.
late 80s.
Finish your statement. Finish your statement real quick. Because you were about to say something. You said, I listen to a lot of this new stuff, but you listen to a lot of
Right,
it, but
that's what
what?
I'm saying. Let me get to it.
Okay.
So I listen to a lot of the new stuff, but what I listen for in music in general, not just hip hop, like
Uh-huh.
is a message in the song.
But that's my point. So how can you
Right.
see? So those two things contradict
And
because if you listen to the new
and see
music,
that's
it has a
yeah.
message. You're just not
And
listening
that's
for it.
what I was
I mean, it
about
has
to
a message. I
say.
just might
That's
not
what I
agree
was
with
gonna
the
say.
message.
That's what I listen to for too. And I listen to a lot of new hip hop, artists, and it's a lot of trash out there. But it's also a lot of new artists that actually have something to say more than I zip lean and I fuck bitches and I got on.
But let's be honest,
It's
it's
more than
always
that. You
been,
just have to actually listen
I
to it.
lean
bruh.
on two people. I lean on
Hey,
two
well,
people.
we've always said that. Yeah.
I lean on
Bingo.
I lean on
Well, that's
Nibor
what I'm
and I
saying.
lean on Savard. Like, you know, the only two motherfuckers I actually like fuck around. Like, if they say some music good, I'm gonna listen to it.
That's a lie, because you still ain't listened to a couple of albums I told you to listen to last year, my nigga.
But I mean,
That's true.
but that's the thing. Like for real, like our problem, like we don't understand how we're poisoning our own culture, and that is a big because every generation, you name the 80s, the 90s,
Yeah.
whatever, you pick whatever generation you want to, and I can name off the cuff 10 to 15 garbage acts and artists that we was rocking with, or people who was popping, or who was running the radio, or what the machine was trying to sell us. Cause don't try to front like bump stickety bump bump. I got you by the
Right.
pump.
That was
Let's
stupid.
not do
Yeah, I
that.
know.
Let's not act like Chris Cross didn't have
Fact,
us putting our clothes on backwards, but we want to hate on skinny jeans. Let's not act
fact,
like
Right.
fact,
horrorcore wasn't a thing and rapping from the grave.
Yeah,
And
and
let's not
fact.
that's and
like we had, but we
somebody else.
romanticize
We have the same trends. It looks a lot
exactly.
different, but we got the same trends
But it
going
all
around, the same shit.
and look
Comes
at it from
out
this
differently.
standpoint. And look at it from this standpoint. What genre of music is still alive and thriving the way it is supposed to be, where the older generation does not embrace the younger? Like we keep
Rock and
talking about
roll.
rock and
Right.
roll is not thriving, B. Like
Shit.
name me four new popping
Right.
rock and roll bands.
You know what
I
though?
don't know, because
But
I
do
don't
you
really like.
know what?
That's
I
my
have
point.
noticed something. Wait a
I
minute. I have
personally
Right.
noticed
don't.
something big time that no other genre really is making money. And if you notice it, more and more artists, especially more and more white artists, are featuring rappers on their song just to try and get
Facts.
that name. You
Yeah.
need the black vote first.
Facts.
Then when we get that fame within the black community, then we gonna branch out and be the good old white artists
Facts.
and get our fans. That's
A
how
la
it
Post
goes.
Black
Malone.
people got more shit to talk about.
Everybody got stuff to talk about.
No,
Like,
I'm saying we have more to talk about.
no, we don't.
Point in time, we have more to talk about.
We ain't got more to talk about. The difference is what the difference is what we do is we know how to talk about it in style. Like
Right.
we all got a lot to talk about. We just know how to.
There's that part. One, two, everybody wants our swag. Everybody want to be black because we make it look good. That's why. Number two, we are the biggest fucking consumer. We're the
Is
biggest
that,
Yeah.
consumer.
Hold
bro?
on,
So
I
wait.
don't.
And then
why not?
the easiest way to put it is, it's like, okay, it's real simple. We make
I started
listen,
yesterday.
listen.
Yes, I'm
We
sorry.
make we make
Go
being
ahead. Go ahead.
fucking depressed look easy nowadays. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit, these motherfuckers out here, like, okay, goddamn, we tried to hold them down. What the fuck? So
Like
I
the
mean,
thing, yeah,
Yeah,
and that's
I'm just
true. And it's like I don't know if we are the biggest consumers or not. Like I hear that a lot. I've never seen the hard anybody who said that. I'm like, show me the hard data that shows we
no, we are.
actually. No. I hear people say it, but I've never seen the numbers. Just like I've seen when you talk about police brutality. If you say per capita, then that's different than saying we are the most brutal. No, per capita. So when you say
Absolutely.
how much
no,
money,
yeah,
so
yeah, no,
I would love to
yeah.
see the numbers because I hear it a lot. I've had that conversation with a bunch of people. It's one of those things like when you found out the whole Willie Lynch shit wasn't true. Like, oh, it was real. Like, it's like people just say it all the
Listen,
time.
I don't believe that shit wasn't true.
Bro, show anything that any type of factual proof, any type of person who wrote a letter,
I think
any,
what
it
wasn't
was
true
just,
his name was Willie Lynch because we still actually fuck around and operate the same fucking way
bro,
till
that
this
don't
day.
mean nothing. We still
Which
operate and
way
tell our
left?
kids
Right
Santa
here.
Claus, but it wasn't true. Like it's just a story. We just
Right,
had this whole conversation about how the Bible has all these stories that we may not
right.
believe actually
But
No,
see,
happened.
that's
listen,
that's
no, no,
and
no, no.
that's what
What I'm
I
saying
think.
is this. What
That's
I'm
what
saying
I
is this.
think the problem is, though. We keep feeding people, our kids, ourselves. We keep feeding each other stories instead of reality. This is the story. This is what you should make from the story. We don't let people bring their own understanding of something. We want them to understand how we think they should understand and
But
how
that's
we
what
understand versus giving them the story and letting them find their own understanding within it.
But the thing about it is, if you look at any other culture that we like to quote, Indian culture, Chinese culture, Asian culture, whatever, they all have, like, I'm pretty sure we're all familiar with Asian proverbs, right?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're all, every culture has Indian parables. Every culture has these as guidelines. Like, we're not, that's not just, you know, mutually
True.
exclusive to us. Like, yeah, you give the
Right.
story of the elephant in the mouse. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You tell these stories of the emperor's new clothes, and they're
Yeah.
parables, and you use that to invoke a thought in the next generation and allow them to grow that thought and manifest it. The problem is us. Our problem is we don't accept the manifestation of that thought. The only time we
Right.
accept the manifestation of that thought is when Tupac said, I may not be the one who changes the world, but I'm going to spark the mind of the one who changes the world. And then every time somebody comes around and say, yo, I'm the mind that Tupac sparked, you say, man, fuck out of here. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, we don't respect the manifestation of that thought. We don't respect
Right,
the fact
but
that, yo,
why? Why don't we
because
respect it?
that's the bigger conversation that I wanted to have, but in context of hip hop, because it is a threat to our viability. It's the same mentality of you can't be the OG to the young dude on the block when you're still on the block. Like,
Right.
you
Right.
competition, fam.
True.
Like, we still
True.
want to be out here,
True.
but telling the, like, when Method Man is trying to tell, excuse me, when Master P is trying to tell Kodak Black what to do, but yet you still putting out albums, and I can look and see, bro, the last album you just put out sold 10,000. What are you
Hey,
trying to tell me?
I actually respect P for that shit though.
I don't at all.
I mean, I
Like,
do because it's
let
like,
me ask you
okay,
this. Let me ask you this.
because he didn't have to say shit to Kodak
Yes,
Black.
he do. What? Give me one thing that Master P has done out of all these business. Give me one thing Master P has done that has sustained any level of viability.
I
Let's go
mean,
to sneakers. Like, what
listen.
has he done
I'm
other
not
than
saying
get over on
I'm
me?
not saying that what P said to him was necessarily like the bee's knees and shit, but because obviously Master P ain't even trying to get his own fucking brother out of prison.
I mean, but mine is that he can't. Like, the case has been appealed and denied. Like, there's nothing he can do. But I'm saying, like, for somebody like that, that's my point. What has he done that has been sustainable financially that you could say, yo, now that I hustled y'all, now that I came out here and took advantage of my artists and used that money to start No Limit Mobile and it
I mean,
tanked,
shit.
then
Basically,
lose
he
that
did the
money for
same
the
thing that
shoes and it tanked, use
he
that
did the
money for
same
the
thing that Tyler
movies and
Perry
it
has
tanked.
doing.
No, he don't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. Totally different thing. Tyler Perry has developed a financially sustainable business model that can function across different mediums, movies, TV, podcasts, and now into a studio. Master P has took his head start and did what with it? He gave us a boy band. Like, what has he done?
I mean,
That
you gotta listen.
I'm
At the
listening.
point in time where P was like actually fucking relevant,
Yeah,
let's see.
it's during the time Diddy was relevant, and we see what Diddy did. So there were people who were relevant
They both
during
was.
that time
I mean,
who
they
popped.
both fuck niggas. Don't get me wrong,
No,
but
I'm not.
at the same time, it was like, okay, well, shit. P had movies. This nigga had TV shows.
What
He
movie
had
did he have that was good? I'm asking, what
uh,
did he do that was good? Like, I
other
Got the
than what I
Hookup
got the
wasn't
hookup, and
good.
that
That
wasn't
wasn't
even
a good.
really a good movie.
That's all I'm asking is to tell me something. Tell me something he did that was good that we can say, let me follow in that footstep, right? Like, we can look at Diddy and see Sean John and say, let me follow in that footstep, right? We can look at
Huh?
we can look at Ciroc and say, let me follow in that footstep. We can
Mm-hmm.
look and follow in footsteps. Say, okay, so when Diddy come to talk, it's like,
We
bro,
can look at Rock and be like, okay, where the fuck is it marketed at?
it's marketed in a market that allows me to make over 200 million a year. What we talking about? So
But what
what
I'm
are you
saying
talking
is,
about?
where is it mainly marketed at? When you got two different liquors. You have New Amsterdam and you have Ciroc, right?
Okay. Okay.
And the majority of the time, the people that actually talk about this shit is like inner city motherfucking ghetto motherfuckers.
What does
Like
that have to do with the fact that
it's just
it's a solid business
it's
model?
just like Billy D. Williams fuck around and
Coke
promote Coke
45.
45.
Okay. So give me the
That's
thing that
what
Master P
I'm
promoted.
And a condom of malt liquor.
Where's
in
the
business is not there's nothing involved in business that involves fair activity is outside of
So
employees.
so
so
but what is
let's
that?
do this. Let's do this. because I feel like we got away a little bit from the
Mhm.
Yeah, we did.
topic. We talking about more problems and not solutions. But I remembered the point I was gonna make earlier, and someone said something along the lines of, "I like resolutions. I'm not against them."
Mhm.
And I don't, I don't like resolutions per se. I say I would, yeah, I like goals, making goals that are measurable and obtainable, realistic goals. Saying this is what I want and then going for that versus this is what I'm going to do and I'm going to do it and I'm going to do it. And we just keep talking ourselves into what we going to do but not actually do it. This is what I want. Go get. Maybe it's just a change of words and a slightly different mindset, but that's
I mean, personally,
just
like,
solutions.
I agree. I mean, I personally don't do resolutions because I know me. I think too much too often. So for me to make a
Yeah.
resolution, for me to make a resolution doesn't make sense. It's just like if I make a plan to go somewhere, I'm not making my plans like
Right.
you know what I'm
And
saying?
I feel like when we say we're going to make these resolutions, this is what I'm gonna do, this is what's gonna happen, we're limiting ourselves. Let's just say this is what I want, this is what I'm gonna go for, but we're not gonna limit ourselves to just that one thing. I'm gonna go for this, but I'm still gonna let myself be available to any other opportunity and possibility that can come.
How does making a resolution limit that?
I was making
Like,
a resolution limit that.
yeah, yeah, because you can do both of those things. You can say, yo, my New Year's
Yeah.
resolution is to lose
Right.
weight. But however, if I get a job opportunity over here, I can still work that job and
Right.
still try to lose weight.
Because
Like,
we're looking at and I guess and again that's why I said it's all the same thing. It's just a different way to word it, just slightly different mindset. But I'm gonna lose weight. That's my New Year's resolution.
okay,
I'm just
so
gonna
now,
resolve to lose weight. But we're not going to resolve to get healthier. We're not gonna resolve to everything else that comes with losing weight. We're just focused on losing weight. That's it.
yes,
So
that's
now we're
but
gonna take shortcuts here and here and here and there
who
to
said
lose
that though?
weight,
Like,
making us,
you're no,
I'm just,
like
I'm
we're
just
create.
saying, just in,
I'm
yeah. Go ahead,
I'm saying we're
go
just
ahead. Sorry.
creating a parallel that's not
Mhm.
necessary, right? Because we can,
Right.
like, we
Yeah.
get caught up on the term resolution and we don't like it because
Yeah.
we've all, me included, we've all used the term wrong. We've all made
Yeah.
resolutions
Definitely.
and not followed those resolutions. So now
Mm.
instead of being upset at ourselves for not following our resolutions, we take our anger out on the term resolution. Like, no, the problem isn't that we
No.
called it
Right. Right.
right.
And
So
that's
so
what and maybe I'm explaining it wrong, but that's all I'm trying to say is let's not, and I'm not saying making a resolution is a bad thing, but maybe we're looking at it the wrong way. Maybe we shouldn't be making resolutions and setting resolutions. Let's just set goals. Different words,
I
damn
mean,
near the
listen,
same
listen,
meaning,
listen.
but
This is what it comes
it's a
down.
different mindset. You're thinking it's the same
To.
thing, but again,
It comes
you're
down to
thinking
this.
about
Look
it
look at the
differently
word.
now.
Look at the word itself. Resolution.
uh,
The RE is a prefix to the solution.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if you're not like willing to actually fuck around, it's like okay, what did I say in the chat a couple days ago? It's like okay, basically setting a resolution means that your body is probably reevaluating a solution of some sort, probably, right?
You're resolving to a solution. You're saying
Right.
Right,
I'm putting in
So
right,
words. This is
right.
my
And that's
so
solution.
what
you
I'm
have
That's why I'm
to
so
saying.
you
We
have to
keep
figure
confused.
out
saying, I'm
you
going
have
to
to figure out
resolve.
the
I
steps.
made this resolve to do this, do this. This is the resolve. This is the resolve. But we never take the
Right?
steps to get to the solution,
And I
to
was just
actually
about to
get
say
the
that
resolve that we
the
seek.
steps to get there.
So again, it's
But
not, it's the same thing, but and me and my man, we had this discussion earlier, and he said, you know what? I just realized I've been using the wrong word. Like you said, we've been using it wrong. So again, it's not a
Mhm.
bad thing to make a resolution, set a goal, whatever it is. It's just we got to change the way we think about it and then start changing the way we attack it. So maybe sometimes using a different word here or there it's all the little thing it takes to get somebody to understand. Oh, okay, I see what you mean. That's all.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, I mean, to I got a bunch of little, just my personal thing. And these are things that normally in conversation I wouldn't say, but since we're doing a podcast and just talk about, like I have a bunch of little pet peeves and things that really that make me tick and things that I do to my one of my little sayings on top of be right to solve the problem is one of the things I like to do. I'm good at preventing a problem, but once there's a problem, I'm not that good. Like I can keep us from the issue, but once we there, I don't know what to do.
Right.
So like a lot of times we get caught up on a lot of little ticky tack things that don't really matter because like right now we're talking about resolution. All the resolution is for real. If you want to break it down, it's a business plan, right? It's the starting point of a business plan. We just had the guy on for the record label, and the first thing he said is you have to have a vision and a direction. You got to know what you're going to do, because if you don't have that vision and that direction, you're going to be all over the place.
Get that
the mission statement. That's the term. My bad. I used the wrong word.
I have a mission statement.
There you go.
I have a mission statement for every business. I have a mission statement for my family.
You go.
My kids have their own personal mission statement.
Facts.
And I have one too. You need a mission statement for every aspect of life.
Facts. And all a New Year's resolution is your mission statement for that next year. What are you going to do next year? All you're saying is, I resolve to lose weight. I resolve to get my finances in order. It's your mission statement on what you want to do.
Right.
Like that's all. We just get. What happens is we just get upset because we see. So I hate to say it. It's true for me. Let me not speak for y'all, but I hate like when you get on social media and for my New Year's, I'm cutting off all. Like you've been cutting off toxic people since 2014. Like I'm tired of seeing you saying that.
Exactly. That's
New year, new me.
We keep making resolutions. We keep making these missions. We keep making these mission statements. But when do we actually write down and set the goals to work towards? When does
because
that
we
happen?
do. We do.
Make
but
the mission and then set the goal.
But we're not upset at that. We're upset at Boom Quisha, who keep making the same one I'm tired of hearing new year, new me. I'm tired of hearing you saying this year focusing on God and my kids.
Exactly.
Like our issue is Boom Quisha.
We're not focusing on the issue, though. We're just saying we don't like the word resolution. We don't like the resolutions being made. So let's stop focusing on the resolution. Let's start focusing on the goals. Let's start moving. That's the solution.
I wrote a status
to the resolution.
But the resolution doesn't need a solution.
Right. It's a solution within itself. Supposed to be.
Exactly.
Why I am, right? So the status was I'm still the same motherfucker I was 10 years ago, but smarter. And that was like probably the first post I did in the new year, right? Because the fact of the matter is I'm always gonna be who I am. It's just that I learn different things. And that's why I personally don't really fuck with the idea of resolutions. I'm not saying that resolutions are.
I hate that statement that you just made because I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. If you're learning and you're getting smarter, then you're not the same person. You're a different person than you were. You're a smarter person. That's a different person.
Like you got to understand this.
You're still technically a different person.
I'm the same person. The reason I said I'm the same person.
At your core, your very basis of your personality is the same, is what you're saying.
Listen, I could have fucked around. I said all kind of shit fucked me up, and I didn't. Right? So I'm still the same. I'm still the same person, but at the same time, I'm not just fucking ignorant to other shit that goes on around me.
So your body is the same, but your mind is different because now we pick and choose carefully of how we react, what we react.
I'm a different motherfucker every day.
Yeah. And see, this is the thing. Like, both of y'all are saying, and this is what I be meaning, like, both of y'all saying the exact same thing, just on different ends of the spectrum.
Just a different way,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that be my thing. Like, we get so caught up in that part of the argument. I'm a different person. No, I'm the same. I'm a different. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, that's not really where the heart of the issue lies.
As long as I fucking nobody over, I'm happy.
And fuck it during a podcast isn't fun. We gotta have some sort of back and forth.
Oh yeah, we definitely gotta have some back and forth.
Can't just say fuck it to everything.
I know, just the church.
But no, I get you.
Just the church.
I feel you 100%.
But
I hear that about myself a lot too. That you're saying the same thing. You just it's probably the same thing. It's just you look at it in a different way. You got a different perspective on things, and everybody has their own perspective and their perception. 9 times out of 10, like you said, we always talking about the same shit. We just view it differently.
Yeah, and I think once you realize that, once you can come to that conclusion a lot quicker, then you get quicker to the solution because New Year's resolution.
And that's when I learned how to just agree to disagree. When
I
I
hate
realized that, fuck it. I'm fuck
He
it.
said, I hate that.
Okay,
Listen, I
we
look at it
talking
this.
about the same thing. We getting to the
I
same
can't see
point. So what's
everybody
the point of
else.
going back and forth with you about it?
Listen,
If we can get to that conclusion where we're along the same lines, then why continue to, like you said, talk about it and go back and forth about it? Podcast, yeah, we gonna go back and forth. We need time. Real life, fuck that
Yeah,
shit. Okay, we on
hold
the
on,
same
big
page. Let's
game,
keep it
big game,
moving to the
big
next
game.
topic.
Listen. I don't feel like everybody has the same point of view. And they just like, I feel like you have different opinions for a reason.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because those people think alike. They may have different
Yeah,
opinions.
no.
Like you know what I'm saying? The way that they, but
The way, yeah, everybody does things
let her
but
differently.
go.
And
I
that's
don't
what
think
I'm
people
saying.
have.
It's all about your perception. It's all about your mind. It'll be the smallest difference that might make somebody understand. Okay, we're talking about the same thing from a different angle, and I'm trying to get you to understand my
I need to get
angle,
some out the
your
car, Brando.
angle, and during that process, if we realize, okay, we understand that we're talking about the same thing, we're on the same page. Okay, conversation done. I mean,
Right.
you know, you got to be able to do that and just cut it off. I mean,
I
No,
mean,
that's a waste of
yeah,
all of
time and
this makes
energy.
sense though. That's the funny part.
in that
Yeah.
scenario, in
All of it
in that
makes
yeah, and in that scenario that she used, like I don't have no problem with it being used that way. I'm saying for me, it just seems like 90% of the time that I hear it being used, it's used as a cop out because y'all didn't agree to disagree. Like,
Oh God,
like,
right?
you know what I'm saying?
Okay, wait.
I
No,
hate,
I was waiting on
I
him,
hate
nigga.
it as
only
a
in
cop out.
those
That
instances
shit
where
though.
we have full understanding, we
Yeah,
gonna go, okay, fuck it. We on the same page. All right, we just got there differently, but we in the same spot. Let's move
yeah,
it. Let's keep
yeah.
going.
For them was yeah. I just hate hearing it because 9 times out of 10, it's like it's always one person saying, "Well, we agree to disagree." The other person didn't agree. Like the other
Right. I'm
person,
still
no,
right.
I didn't
No,
agree to
right.
disagree. Like no, I
But
didn't
you
agree to
walked
that.
away.
Yeah, I still won't smoke. Like we didn't agree to
Hey,
shit.
wait. That's actually wait. That's a dope ass way of looking at that shit. Cause I always I never really liked it when people say we just agree to disagree. I'm like, well,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. No, I still won't smoke. No, get back over
Wait, what?
here. Yeah, we ain't done
That makes
because
sense to
But
me.
see, honestly though, we won't agree to disagree, but there does have to be some point of you trying to explain the same thing to the same person. Oh, well, okay, I'm done. I'm done talking. You either gonna take
that's
it, or
and
Hey,
that's
you from what
listen,
I
that's
said,
my
or you
favorite two
gonna
words
put your
from
own spin on it and take it for how you want it. Either way, I'm done talking. But we ain't agree to disagree about shit.
yeah,
I'm done talking, and you gonna make up your
no.
mind about it.
yeah.
Period.
Listen,
There you
that's
go.
my favorite two words coming. My favorite
It's
two words
different.
coming in those situations. I just be like, you know what? Fuck it. Right?
There you go. I can't say that because my kids right here, but that's
Right.
I know.
exactly
I ain't got my kids right.
Pretty
I
much.
mean, that's my two favorite words pop up. When
because
I get
sometimes
in those situations and we on the same, we like not necessarily agreeing with each other or whatever, it's just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm about to walk off.
yeah, and I guess for me because the majority of the time when I hear agree to disagree is when we're talking about something that clearly has a right and wrong answer. Like when we talk about like
Right.
Trump or something, and I'm talking with a Republican, and then, well, we'll just agree to disagree because I feel like no,
Right.
you're wrong. No, like there's a difference between
Right.
being a racist, a bigot,
You
prejudiced,
just
and
own up to the fact that you are wrong and you want to try to save face. Like you said, it's a cop out. You want to try
yeah,
to save face and we just, yeah.
and that's why it bothered me, I guess, because I the same way you attach New Year's resolutions to Boom Quisha, I attach agree to disagree to like racist Republicans trying to justify the Reagan era. Well, we'll just agree to disagree. Like, no, we're not agreeing to disagree. Like the
Right,
projects were
right.
set up. We're
Like
nobody
we're
gonna pull
agreeing
each
to
other
keep
up by their
disagreeing. That's what
bootstrap.
we're doing.
Like
And see,
we're not
that's why I
agreeing.
think it's
No, did you
important
hear
for
me? We're
You said,
everyone.
disagreeing for real.
Yeah,
That's
we still
realistic.
just
But I think that's the biggest point. Things that we all should probably strive for. Those of us who don't do it anyway, is just realizing that everyone has their own opinion. Fact is fact. Opinion is opinion. Realize whatever discussion you're in and act the fucking accordingly. It's not hard,
because
you know.
you know a
If you don't
wise
know the
man.
facts, don't sit there and act like you know all the facts and go ham on some shit you don't know. You know, just I'm not sure, but you know what? I'll research it and then we'll get back to this topic.
A
How hard
wise
is that?
man told me
Stop
never
wasting
argue with
energy.
fools because people from a
Right.
distance can't tell who is who.
Can't tell which
Jay Z
one. Right.
Jay-Z
Ooh.
quote of the day. Like I said, it's a Jay-Z quote for
Bars.
everything. But 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 yeah, people.
Barologist.
You know what our quote is? I hate to give this man this credit, but he deserves the credit. Bill O'Reilly. He is responsible
All right, here we go.
for.
Watch this motherfucker.
No, I'm not getting into
Hold
politics.
on,
I'm
you
not
said
getting
the
into
I'm
what?
talking
politics.
shit. No, I'm talking shit. I'm
No,
talking shit.
Straight?
no. What I'm saying is, although I hate to give this man the credit because I
Right.
dislike him, but Bill
By the
O'Reilly,
way, he is a terrible writer. Whoever helped him write his book, no, no, I
the
can't.
no spin
Okay, go
zone.
ahead. Make your point. Sorry, go ahead.
But no, it's cool. Is a lot of the stuff that we're mad about is he created or he curated, I should say, he curated our modern way of conversation. Right. One of the things that the O'Reilly factor did that is still prevalent to this day is his style of hosting guests, his style of asking and answering questions at the same time, putting his guests in a position where they have nothing to say. Like he created that. Like so now a lot of times when
Mhm.
we talk to people, the reason we get to the agree to disagree because people like us who understand things and know how to have a conversation, and you talk to somebody who only know how to talk in hot takes,
Right,
and you talk to somebody who
right, right.
because Bill O'Reilly was like, let me hit this hot take
They
and then let me
only
move on to the next
listen
hot
to
take.
respond.
Yeah, but they only know how to go surface deep on a topic because O'Reilly's thing was no spin zone. I'm not going to give you time to spin this. I got a 30-minute
Right.
show broken down in three 10-minute segments, and in every 10-minute segment, you're only going to get 10 seconds to answer the question before I move on to the next thing we're
Yeah.
talking about. So
The
now
next one, yeah.
all we do now is talk about the hot takes on the surface. And now when we talk to these people on social media, well, I just feel like reparations is bad. Why?
Right. We
Now you
know the
can't get no
surface.
depth. Now you can't get no depth and you can't have a conversation. So now you just get pissed off and say, you know what, let's just agree to disagree. But it's really is the person you're talking to doesn't know how to have an actual conversation. Or when they start losing in the debate and start posting memes. Like, bro, you can't
Right.
talk without
They
a
want to
meme?
get mad. They want to,
Yeah.
right? They like what you say, Ed, to rip your pants with the SpongeBob shit. That's what they want
Yeah.
to do. They want to go ahead and keep ripping their pants to get that attention.
It's like what I was talking about on that was it's like okay, so SpongeBob to a certain degree kind of fucked around and made it like okay, well, shit, if I'm ripping my pants, I'm making a fool of myself, then it's something to be happy about, I guess. Like you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that bothered me.
But when has being ignorant and foolish ever been something to be happy about? That's the problem. We thrive on it nowadays. We glorify it, but there's nothing to glorify.
I mean a lot. Listen, like okay, like if you meet my friend on Facebook and you know me and all of that, it's like you'll post up where I talk shit, but 9 times out of 10, I'm probably being honest about some shit. That's just it's just that I say my honest shit in a funny way sometimes.
Do you know what I want to do? And I've been trying to figure out how to do this, especially with my kids. I want to bring back the pen pal program. I love baby, I'm a corny motherfucker, but I love having a pen pal in a different country as a kid. Build
Hey,
communication. Let's turn off the text messages and the social media and get back to making phone calls at least once or twice a day. Having an
I
actual
mean shit, that's just
conversation.
personally, like I don't even buy my kids like indoor toys. Like they get like
Go take
balls and
right. Go
basketball
outside. Be a kid. Play. Yeah.
because I would much rather my kids be active than to be sitting in front of a fucking.
You know what? We used to live in Mesquite, Texas, and I love the neighborhood in my house. You know, uppity rich white people, rich ass, big ass houses. But I hated it because it was a neighborhood full of kids, but there were never any kids outside ever. My kids go outside to play. It's always just them playing amongst themselves. It was hard for them to make friends because no one's outside. Yeah, it's hot. It's Texas. It's hot. It's Texas. You should be outside. Like, what the fuck? There's no reason to be in the house. The weather is nice. Make sure you're properly hydrated.
Hold on,
Go
wait.
out
Now,
there and have fun.
on that note, listen, I gotta defend the South a little bit on that one. All right, because I think I was like 11. We went down to Mobile, Alabama, and around between noon and I think about 3 o'clock, they would not let us go outside.
Yeah,
It was too hot.
Because it was too hot. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Very hot. Right.
Now, all before this bullshit. Oh, we was out there. We ain't get.
No, right. And I get that point. I know it's too hot at certain points of the day, especially for younger kids. But what about early in the morning, before noon? Go outside, have fun. Come back in, have lunch, take a break, take a nap, rehydrate. Oh, it's cooled down a little bit. Take your ass outside. That's how I was raised. We're outdoors people though. When I was back home, every day I had 2 off days a week. Every off day, me, my brother Sean, and all my kids, they friends, whoever the fuck could fit in my truck, we were at somebody's lake every day.
Man, I was
at
black
somebody's
as hell
every chance we had to get out, they were out. They were in the community, active, playing, making friends.
Like I said,
you know,
my
that
damn
3-second friends.
black every summer. Every summer I was doing that shit. Because I was always outside. Like, you could not, like, my mama would be like, okay, you got to come in at a certain time.
Yeah.
So I
we have a
out
different
there. I
culture
was enjoying
nowadays. We're raising our kids differently. It's I don't know. I can't say I agree with it, you know, but the TV and the social media and the phones and the tablets and all that shit raising our kids instead of us raising them. We expect our kids to go to school and learn and come home and we ain't got to do shit, but that's not the case. It starts at home. It ends at home. School
and
is
I
just
think
supposed
I'm
to be
just,
a
I
buffer to
like
teach the shit, the technical shit you can't teach. But critical thinking skills at home. Fuck a school. Basic
right.
how-to independent skills, life skills, hygiene skills at fucking home. Not school, not nobody else but you as a parent.
That's why I'm like, I think I might just be old school because I actually sit there with my kids and read them books and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and go outside and I run around with my kids. Like, you know.
I looked up some stats. I'm going to crunch the numbers when I get home. So far, I found for 2018 as far as the consumers. But I did peruse the list, and reading material, black people are dead last on as far as the things we purchase. So, solution, get a book, buy a book, magazine, I don't give a fuck, start reading. If you don't know how to read, find somebody to help you learn to read, motherfuckers.
Well, see, I done got smart. Like, I started going to the
library.
Look, I started going to the library around here, and they usually got books to sell for like 25 cents. So it's like, okay,
No, usually they are, and most of the libraries too. They have those book houses now. Every Clark school library. They also have a free rack of magazines and books. I lived in the library, middle school, high school. I wasn't the one to go out and have fun. Well, I went out and have fun, but I wasn't the one to go party and chase boys and all that shit. I was in the library. I was reading. I was researching. That was me. I was the nerdy motherfucker. That was me. I went to one club at the age of 19 and I decided I didn't like it and I was like, fuck it. But it's nothing wrong with being knowledgeable and educated. Like, why do we frown upon it so much as a race? There's nothing wrong with it.
I call myself street nigga. So it was like, okay, shit, I might be outside, but nobody outside. Shit, I was somewhere reading.
Right.
I was always reading because it's like, okay, for me, like, you know how, like, you know, they come out with movies based off books. I always found out that the book was always better than the movie.
The book's always better than the movie.
Which is why I like
it gives you a chance. When you have a book, yes, you have the words, but you make the story your own because you're using your imagination. So you're making the characters the way you want them. You're making the setting the way you want them. It's your story.
I mean,
that's
shit,
why I hate
not
reading
even
the
just
book and then seeing the movie because that shit this not the story I just read. No. And then they don't give you enough detail. Book goes in so many more details.
It's the details that are written down that are always better than the screenplay. So that's why it's like till this day, like if you ever pay attention, I'm always talking about like I really don't watch TV. Like if I'm watching something, I'm probably watching a documentary. Every now and then I'm watching like
know what? Okay, I'm gonna do this real quick and then I gotta go. I'm almost home. I would say I was gonna get off when I get home, but the one thing I am mad about TV and movies and all that shit, mostly for Batman, because there are so many different storylines and so many different shows and movies for Batman. Like, people be talking about one thing, and I'm like, no, remember, oh, well, on Gotham, and this, I'm like, no, did you read it? Did you ever read a comic? Ever?
Right.
You know, no, I don't. It's just, it makes it difficult when people can put their own spin and their own flavor on classics, just things that I at least consider to be
I
classics.
mean, that's part of the reason I fuck with
Build your own
I fuck with
imagination.
Marvel. Like, DC has always been like iffy to me. I don't know why. Like, you know, the comic books, like, okay, Superman got murdered and then this nigga came back to life. And the 12-part series. It wasn't really 12-part series.
I would say,
series,
let's if we're making resolutions this year, let's resolve to getting back in touch with creativity and being unique and being ourselves and letting art imitate life instead of life imitating art. Let's get back to that.
Okay, so since you're almost home and you're about to go ahead and jump off of anything up.
Okay.
Hey, I said I don't edit shit anyway, so I mean shit.
Right.
All right, okay, so my final thoughts are these, okay? We're recording this on January 1st, so what I want to do is I want to extend my hopes and wishes for everybody to have a very happy and prosperous 2020. And one more thing is that this is actually the last year of the fucking decade, so I need people to stop saying this decade. Because there was no... And I'm done with my final thoughts. Well, y'all enjoy yourselves, love yourselves, and keep pushing.
That's right. Terrence, do you have any final thoughts?
Yes, sir. Always remember, dead is not better than alive. Chicken is better fried, and wings are better than thighs. Peace.
Love it. Okay, Nibor.
I am just going to say to love yourself, get to know yourself, fuck the bullshit, write out a plan, resolution, goal, whatever you want to call it. Get a mission statement for everything. Even if you don't own a business, just have a personal mission statement. Set some, make it make sense. You know, don't set this high goal and you want to make a giant leap and you got to take like 1,000 baby steps to get to that leap. Just, you know, one step at a time. One step at a time. That's all it takes.
In other words, don't keep
reading Bob's book, Baby Steps. Find it. It's a good one. Apparently, whatever. Okay. I don't know the guy's name. What about Bob? I don't know if he was talking to Bob. But... Awkward Ménage coming to you for 2020. I'm going to say, make the new year whatever you want to make it. Just remember, whatever we have in life is what we want to have. That's why we have it. If you want something different, make some changes and figure out what that needs to be. And that's
For sure. Peace.
Damn, you always say peace. Right? Peace. Peace.